Welcome to Daily English with Subtitles. Before we dive into today's story, don't forget to like and share. It only takes a few seconds and helps us a lot. I am a private tutor, and right now, I'm teaching at the house of the most handsome boy in school. But not him. I tutor his younger brother. My phone vibrated. A notification popped up. A message from my online boyfriend. Baby, my mom hired a tutor for my little brother today. And guess what? That tutor turned out to be one of my classmates. She's so annoying. I can't stand her. I froze, staring at the screen. Slowly, my eyes shifted toward the boy sitting across from me. Ethan Carter. Lincoln High's golden boy. Tall, broad-shouldered, ridiculously good-looking, with sharp features that seemed carved from stone. He sat with one hand holding his phone, his other hand tapping the desk idly. Could it be? Could Ethan, the guy every girl in school had a crush on, actually be my online boyfriend? This is ridiculous, I muttered under my breath, shaking my head. But then I heard him sigh and murmur softly, almost to himself. Why do I even bother replying to this girl? What are the odds it's really her? My whole body stiffened. He lifted his gaze and caught me staring. His brows furrowed. "Miss Moon," he said coldly, "can you put away your phone and actually focus on tutoring my brother?" Caught red-handed, I shoved my phone back into my bag, my cheeks burning. Ethan gave me a hard look, then returned to his phone, his long fingers moving quickly across the screen. A second later, my own phone buzzed 3 times. Seriously? You tell me not to touch my phone, then you bombard me with messages? I sneaked a glance. The last one read, "Baby, when are we going to meet in person? I promise you won't regret it." My heart lurched. It really was him. "Miss Moon, can you check this problem for me?" The small voice pulled me back. It was Ben Carter, Ethan's younger brother. He pushed his math workbook across the table, his eyes wide with hope. I looked at the problem. To my surprise, he had followed the exact steps I had taught him last week. "You got it right," I said warmly. "Well done, Ben. You're a fast learner." Ben's face lit up like a Christmas tree. "See? I told you I could do it. Miss Moon, you explain things better than anyone at school." Out of the corner of my eye, I saw Ethan's jaw tighten. The door opened. Mrs. Carter entered gracefully, smiling. "Ben, how's the lesson going? Did you learn something new today?" "Yes, Mom. Miss Moon explains everything so clearly. She's the best," Ben announced proudly. Mrs. Carter's face softened with joy. "Well, that's wonderful. I've never seen you so enthusiastic about studying." Then she turned to me with a gentle, motherly smile. "Clara, thank you for your patience. It's already late. Why don't you stay overnight? Tomorrow you can just ride to school with Ethan." "Oh, no, Mrs. Carter, that won't be necessary," I said quickly, glancing at Ethan, whose expression had already darkened. "I need to visit my mom at the hospital tonight." Mrs. Carter's brows furrowed. "The hospital? That's far from here." "Ethan, driver." "What?" Ethan's head snapped up. "You heard me. Take the car and give her a ride," she said firmly. Reluctantly, Ethan pulled out his car keys. I caught a glimpse of the silver Ferrari logo dangling from the chain. The famous red Ferrari. Every girl at Lincoln High knew about it. Ethan's car was practically part of his legend. "Let's go," he muttered. I followed him outside, my heart still pounding. As I climbed into the passenger seat, the leather felt cold beneath my hands. The Ferrari purred to life, sleek and powerful. Beside me, Ethan stared straight ahead, his profile lit by the streetlights as the car sped into the night. My phone buzzed again. Another message from him, my online boyfriend. "Baby, what were you doing earlier? Why didn't you reply?" I almost laughed out loud. "What do you think? You were scolding me in person." I typed back, I just got yelled at by some jerk, not in the mood. The typing bubbles appeared instantly. Who dares yell at my baby? Tell me who it was. I'll make sure he regrets it. I nearly choked. Sitting right next to me, scolding me with that cold glare, while defending me through texts at the same time. The irony was too much. The ride to the hospital was tense. The only sound was the soft hum of the Ferrari's engine. I sat stiffly, clutching my bag. Ethan's face was unreadable as he drove, eyes fixed on the road ahead. "Thanks for the ride," I muttered, breaking the silence. He didn't look at me. "Whatever." I turned toward the window, biting my lip. My phone vibrated again. A new message from him. My online boyfriend. "Baby, when are we finally meeting up? I swear I won't let you down." My chest tightened. "You already are letting me down. You just don't know it." Without thinking, I asked, "Why do you hate me so much?" Ethan's grip on the wheel tightened. "Who said I hate you?" "Oh, come on." I gave a bitter laugh. "You can't even stand to look at me. You act like I disgust you." For a moment, he didn't respond. Then he muttered, "Because you bad-mouthed me." I blinked. "What?" "During online classes last year," he said flatly. "The whole school heard it." And suddenly, the memory hit me like lightning. The first day of remote learning during the pandemic. I hadn't known my mic was unmuted. My roommate had texted me about Ethan gushing. "He's so hot. I think I like him." I had laughed and replied out loud without realizing. "Hot? Please. Look at that face. Stare at him too long and you'll freeze to death. Nothing attractive about him." The teacher had cleared her throat awkwardly. "Miss Moon, please mute your mic." But by then, it was too late. Everyone had heard, including Ethan. "Oh my God," I whispered now, sinking into the seat. Ethan's jaw flexed. "Exactly." The rest of the ride was unbearable. When we reached the hospital, I all but leapt out of the car. "Thanks," I mumbled. He didn't reply, just hit the gas and drove off. Finding my mom's room wasn't easy. The hospital was massive, and I got lost twice before finally pushing open the door. "Clara, what are you doing here?" My mom sat up, surprise flickering in her tired eyes. "I wanted to check on you," I said softly. "You shouldn't have come." She swung her legs off the bed as if to push me out. "Go home, Clara." "Mom, stop." I dropped my bag on the chair and sat by her side. "I know why you're here. It's about him, isn't it?" Her expression hardened. I sighed, pulling out the takeout bag I had brought. "I bought lamb skewers, your favorite." She hesitated, then took one. The first bite seemed to soften her face. "Why don't you come stay with me, Mom?" I asked carefully. "The house feels too big, too empty. Just the two of us would be better than you stuck here." But she shook her head firmly. "No, not yet. I need to figure this out first." I wanted to argue, but her stubbornness was unshakable. Later, when I returned home, the mansion was pitch black. Though huge and beautiful, it felt cold and hollow, like a beast waiting to swallow me. I didn't even bother turning on the lights. I just grabbed the oversized teddy bear I'd bought from IKEA, hugged it tight, and crawled into bed. My phone buzzed again. It was him. "Babe, if you looked like that annoying girl in my class, I'd be devastated." I froze. My throat tightened. So he really hates me. Not just dislikes me. He hates me. I typed with shaking fingers. "Didn't you say you'd like me no matter what?" The typing bubbles appeared. Then a long pause. Finally he replied, "Not if you were like her. She drives me insane." Tears stung my eyes. That girl is me. But I didn't tell him. Instead, I shoved the phone under my pillow and closed my eyes, wishing the world would disappear. The next morning at school, the air buzzed with unusual excitement. "What's going on?" I asked my best friend Maya as we walked through the gates. She grinned mischievously. "Don't you know? Today's Ethan Carter's birthday? And guess who's about to confess to him at the school entrance?" I frowned. "Who?" "Chloe Stevens." I nearly tripped. Chloe, the self-proclaimed princess of Lincoln High. Rich, gorgeous, and always flaunting it. "She's bringing a whole cake and everything," Maya whispered. "The entire school's here to watch." Sure enough, a huge crowd had gathered by the gate. Chloe stood tall in the center, elegant and flawless, holding a designer cake box topped with candles. "Oh, wow," Maya muttered, half impressed, half disgusted. "She's going all out." I crossed my arms. "And you think Ethan's going to accept?" Maya snorted. "Please. Has he ever said yes to anyone? He's turned down every single girl who's confessed. No way he's saying yes to her, no matter how rich she is." A roar of an engine cut through the chatter. The red Ferrari pulled up. The crowd instantly parted like peasants bowing to royalty. Ethan stepped out, tall and breathtaking, his uniform crisp, his expression colder than winter. Chloe's cheeks flushed pink. She stepped forward, holding out the cake with trembling hands. "Ethan, happy birthday." The crowd hushed, all eyes on him. He glanced at the cake for half a second. His face didn't change. "Thanks," he said flatly. Then he walked right past her. The gasp from the students was deafening. Chloe froze, her smile shattering. The cake wobbled in her hands. Maya smacked my arm, whisper yelling, "I told you! Total rejection!" But then, to my horror, Ethan's eyes locked on me. "Wait, what?" He walked straight toward me. The crowd followed his gaze, murmurs spreading like wildfire. Chloe's furious stare burned into my back. Ethan stopped right in front of me. His voice was sharp, commanding. "Clara Moon, come home with me, now." The world tilted. What did you just say?" "Don't make me repeat myself." I gaped at him, utterly stunned. Behind me, Maya squealed, "Girl, he just ignored Chloe and went straight for you." I wanted to sink into the ground. The crowd buzzed like a hive of bees. "Did you hear that? Ethan told Clara to go home with him." "No way. Is something going on between them?" "Chloe's going to explode." My legs felt weak. I wanted to vanish. Chloe still stood there, gripping her expensive cake, her expression frozen in disbelief, her eyes practically shooting daggers through me. I stammered. "Ethan, But before I could finish, Ethan grabbed my wrist. His grip was firm, almost too firm, and he pulled me through the crowd like I had no choice. "Hey," I protested, stumbling after him. "What are you doing? Everyone's staring." "Good," he muttered without slowing down. "Let them stare." Behind me, Maya's voice rang out like a squeal of delight. "Clara, call me later. I want all the details." My face burned so hot I thought I might combust. When we reached the Carter mansion, Mrs. Carter was already setting the dining table. "Oh, Clara, you're just in time," she said warmly. "Come sit. You must be hungry." I shot Ethan a glare. "You literally dragged me here." He ignored me and sat down, cool as ever. Ben beamed. "Miss Moon, you're staying for lunch?" "Awesome." Mrs. Carter nodded approvingly. "Clara, you've been such a wonderful help. From now on, why don't you come both after school and in the evenings? I'll double your pay." I blinked, startled. "Oh, thank you, Mrs. Carter, but really you don't have to." "I insist," she said kindly but firmly. Ethan's fork clinked against his plate. "She'll stay." I turned to glare at him. "Excuse me? Who said you get to decide for me?" His eyes met mine, sharp and unyielding. I did. "Unbelievable," I muttered. But Mrs. Carter only smiled, too pleased to notice the tension. That afternoon, after Ben finished his homework, he tugged on my sleeve. "Miss Moon, do you play video games?" I raised an eyebrow. "Do I play games? Please, I'm a legend." Ben's jaw dropped. Really? Which one? Valor's Glory, I said, grinning. His eyes sparkled. No way, that's the one I play. Can you carry me in ranked? Boot it up, I said with a wink. Minutes later, we were playing side by side, and Ben was cheering every time I scored a win. You're amazing. Better than Ethan even. A shadow fell across us. Better than me at what? I froze. Ethan stood in the doorway, arms crossed, his gaze sharp. Video games, Ben said proudly. She carried me. Ethan narrowed his eyes. Let me see her account. I reluctantly handed over my phone. His eyes scanned the screen, and then his whole body stiffened. The username glared back at him. Campus Beauty, Lincoln U. Right under it was his own. Campus Prince, Lincoln U. The air turned electric. His fingers clenched around my phone, the faint crack of plastic echoing in the room. He looked up slowly, his eyes burning. It's you, he whispered. My stomach dropped. Oh no, 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 no. This was it. The secret was out. I scrambled. That's just a coincidence. Lots of people use names like that. Don't lie. His voice was low, dangerous. You're the one I've been talking to. My girlfriend. Ben gasped loudly. Wait, what? Miss Moon is your online girlfriend? I wanted the earth to swallow me whole. Shut up, Ben, Ethan snapped. Then his gaze locked back on me, fury and something else burning in his eyes. You made fun of me in front of the whole school, and all this time? You've been with me online? I didn't mean to, I blurted. That mic thing was an accident. He laughed sharply, bitterly. Unbelievable. Out there you humiliate me, but online? You call me baby, you flirt, you make me think. He cut himself off, jaw tight. My face burned. I never thought it would be you? If you had known, he interrupted, stepping closer. You would have what? Dumped me? The room felt suffocating. Ben's eyes darted nervously between us, like he was watching live TV. He mumbled. I'm gonna go somewhere else. And he bolted out, leaving me alone with Ethan. He stalked forward until my back hit the wall. My heart hammered. Tell me the truth, he demanded. Do you hate me as much as you pretend? Or do you actually feel something? I swallowed hard. His face was so close, his eyes searching, desperate. My voice cracked. I don't know. Wrong answer. His hand slammed against the wall beside my head, caging me in. I trembled. Ethan, this isn't fair. You can't just force me. I'm not forcing you, he growled. I'm asking. Look me in the eye and tell me you feel nothing. I opened my mouth, but no sound came, because I couldn't. The truth was, I did feel something. All those late-night calls, silly stickers, comforting words. He'd been my safe place. And now, knowing he was the same person standing before me, I hated how much I wanted to believe him. The next morning at school, things only got worse. Whispers chased me into class. Chloe sat 2 rows ahead, her back stiff, her eyes full of venom whenever she glanced at me. She didn't wait long. At break, she strutted over, her posse behind her. She leaned down, her perfume sharp. Clara, she sneered. Let's get one thing straight. Ethan Carter is way out of your league. Don't think for a second you can compete with me. I forced a smile. Funny, I don't remember signing up for a competition. Her face darkened. You really don't know your place, do you? She hissed. Everyone knows your mom's in the hospital. Everyone knows you're broke. You're nothing. Not worthy of someone like him. My blood boiled. Say whatever you want about me, Chloe, but don't you dare bring my mom into this. Her smirk widened. Oh, struck a nerve? What's next? Mad that you don't even have a dad either. The classroom went silent. The words slapped me harder than any hand could. Before I knew it, my palm struck her cheek. The sound echoed. Chloe staggered back, her perfect hair falling out of place. Gasps filled the room. I stood, my hand still stinging. My voice shook but rang clear. My father was a firefighter. He gave his life saving others. You don't get to insult him. Chloe's eyes widened, then narrowed into fury. You'll pay for this, Clara. I held her gaze. Bring it on. The classroom erupted into whispers. She slapped Chloe. No one's ever dared to do that before. Clara's done for. Chloe's eyes glistened with rage. She looked like she wanted to claw me apart right then and there. You? She hissed, clutching her cheek. You actually dared to hit me? Yes, I said firmly, my hands still trembling. And if you ever insult my family again, I'll do it twice. Before Chloe could lunge at me, a shadow fell between us. Ethan. His hand shot out, gripping my wrist, tugging me behind him like a shield. His voice was low, commanding. Enough. The entire room went silent. His sharp gaze cut into Chloe. Don't cause trouble in my class. Her lips parted in shock. No one had ever heard Ethan defend anyone, let alone scold Chloe. You're defending her? She sputtered. He didn't answer, just tightened his grip on my wrist and glared. Chloe trembled, her pride shattered. With a huff, she spun around and stormed back to her seat. All eyes were on me. But this time, instead of pity or mockery, I saw awe, respect, and it was all because of him. At lunch, Ethan cornered me by the lockers. What were you thinking? He snapped. You can't just hit people. She insulted my dad. My voice cracked. What was I supposed to do? Just sit there? He fell silent, his jaw tense. Finally, he asked quietly, Your dad? He was a firefighter? I swallowed hard. Yeah, he died in the line of duty. Something flickered in his eyes. Surprise, respect, maybe even guilt. I didn't know, he said softly. Well, now you do. I turned to leave, but his hand shot out, catching mine. Clara. I froze. He held my gaze, his voice steady. From now on, if anyone messes with you, tell me first. I blinked. Why would you care? His eyes didn't waver. Because you're mine. My face burned. You can't just keep saying that. You heard me? He said calmly, as if it were a fact carved in stone. I yanked my hand free and stormed off, my heart pounding out of control. That evening, I returned to the Carter mansion. Mrs. Carter greeted me warmly. Clara, just in time. Stay for dinner, dear. Before I could decline, Ben bounded down the stairs, clutching his physics textbook. Miss Moon, help me with this problem, please. I smiled despite myself. All right, let's see. We settled into the study. I was just explaining electric fields when the door burst open. Ethan. He leaned against the frame, his casted arm folded across his chest, his expression thunderous. I told you to come upstairs, he said flatly. I frowned. Excuse me? I'm tutoring your brother. Ben can wait. His eyes locked on me. You, upstairs. Now. Ben jumped up, shielding me. Leave her alone, Ethan. She's helping me study. Ethan's glare sharpened. Ben. Out. No! Ben clung to my arm like a human shield. You always pick on her. Why can't you just leave her alone? I sighed. Guys, please. But Ethan was already striding across the room. He grabbed my wrist. Ben tightened his grip on the other. I was caught in a ridiculous tug of war. Seriously? I yelled. You're both insane. The standoff ended when Mrs. Carter stormed in. Ethan Carter, she scolded, marching over and yanking his ear. What did I say about bothering your brother's tutor? Mom, let go. Ethan winced. Apologize to Clara. He glared at me, rubbing his ear. Sorry. Good, Mrs. Carter said firmly. Then she patted my shoulder. Don't mind him, Clara. Just focus on tutoring Ben. I'll handle this brat. I bit my lip to keep from laughing. Ethan shot me a murderous look before stomping out. Later, after the lesson, Ben leaned across the table, eyes sparkling with mischief. Miss Moon, you like my brother, don't you? I choked on my water. What? Absolutely not. You do, he said with a grin. Otherwise, why do you let him boss you around? I don't let him. He just, forget it. Ben tilted his head thoughtfully. Well, I think you'd make a great sister-in-law. I nearly fell out of my chair. Excuse me? I'm serious, he said innocently. You're smart, kind, and you even play video games. If Ethan doesn't marry you, I will. In 2 years, I'll be 18. That's legal, right? I burst out laughing. Ben, you're impossible. Before I could catch my breath, Ethan's voice came from the doorway. What did you just say? We both froze. Ben, guilty but defiant, said, I said if you don't marry her, I will. Ethan's eyes darkened. He strode over and swatted his brother's head. Over my dead body. Ow, what was that for? Ben rubbed his head, pouting. You're too young to joke about marriage, Ethan said coldly. Then his eyes slid to me, burning with unspoken meaning. And she's mine. My heart skipped. I forced a laugh, pretending I wasn't shaken. You've got to stop saying that. I'm not anyone's. But the way he looked at me, I wasn't sure he believed it. That weekend, Mrs. Carter insisted we all go to the amusement park together. Ben was ecstatic. Ethan came too, dressed, of course, in a perfectly tailored suit. I sighed. Why are you wearing that? This is an amusement park, not a board meeting. It doesn't matter, he said coolly. Embarrassing, Ben muttered. We started with the haunted house. The moment a zombie mannequin jumped out, I screamed and grabbed Ethan's arm. His lips curved. Thought you weren't scared. I'm not. I clung tighter. By the end, I was practically plastered against him. Next was the roller coaster. I screamed my lungs out. Ethan sat like a statue. When we stumbled off, my legs wobbled until his hand steadied the small of my back. Relax, he murmured. I've got you. My heart raced faster than the ride itself. As the sun set, we boarded the Ferris wheel. Ben ended up in the cart behind us, leaving me alone with Ethan. The city glittered below. You know the legend? He asked suddenly. I blinked. What legend? At the very top, if two people kiss, they'll be together forever. My face flamed. That's just a silly story. Maybe. His eyes locked onto mine. But we're at the top now. Before I could react, his hand cupped my cheek and his lips pressed against mine. The world outside vanished. When he pulled back, his forehead rested against mine. His voice was a whisper. Now you're really mine. I couldn't stop thinking about that kiss on the Ferris wheel. His lips had been warm, confident, and far too certain of themselves. My heart had pounded so loudly, I thought it might burst. When the Ferris wheel stopped and we stepped off, I could barely look at him, but Ethan acted like nothing had happened. He straightened his jacket, calm as ever, and told Ben to hurry up. Still, every time our eyes met, the memory burned between us. The next few days at school were unbearable. Whispers followed me everywhere. They say Ethan kissed her at the amusement park. No way. Clara Moon? Out of all people? I heard she slapped Chloe in class too. Everywhere I went, people stared. And Chloe? She wasn't about to let it go. At lunch, she strutted up to me, flanked by her followers. She slammed her hands on my desk. You think you're special just because Ethan looks at you? She sneered. You're nothing but a charity case. Don't get comfortable. I rolled my eyes. Chloe, I don't have time for your drama. Her smile vanished. She leaned closer, whispering venomously. If you don't back off, I'll make sure everyone knows your little secret. That your mom's in the hospital, chasing after some doctor. Do you want the whole school talking about that? My stomach twisted. Before I could reply, a shadow fell over us. "Get lost, Chloe." Ethan's voice was calm but icy. She straightened quickly, forcing a fake smile. "Ethan, I don't care what you were doing," he cut in. "Stay away from Clara." Gasps rippled through the cafeteria. Chloe's face flushed scarlet. She glared at me, trembling with fury, before storming off. That evening, when I arrived at the Carter house, Ethan was waiting at the door. "You need to be more careful," he said seriously. I frowned. "Careful of what?" "People like Chloe. She won't stop until she breaks you." I crossed my arms. "And what do you suggest I do? Hide? Pretend nothing's happening?" His eyes locked on mine, burning. "No, stand by me." My chest tightened. "What do you mean?" He stepped closer, lowering his voice. "If you let everyone know you're mine, she won't dare touch you again." My breath caught. I can't." "Why not?" he pressed. "Because I didn't even know what we were. Because I couldn't tell if I liked him, or the version of him who sent me silly stickers at 2 a.m. calling me babe." But I couldn't say that, so I muttered, "Just drop it." His jaw clenched, but he didn't argue. The next weekend, Maya convinced me to go out. "There's a karaoke lounge downtown," she said, her eyes sparkling. "Come on, Clara. You need a break from all this Carter family drama." I hesitated, but eventually agreed. Maybe a night out would clear my head. But when I arrived at the room, she had texted me. The air turned cold. Inside wasn't Maya. It was Chloe and 3 older guys covered in tattoos. My blood froze. "Hello, Clara." Chloe purred from the sofa, crossing her legs elegantly. "Funny seeing you here." I turned to leave instantly, but the door slammed shut. One of the tattooed men blocked my way, grinning. "You're not leaving so soon, sweetheart?" My hands shook. "Chloe, what is this?" She twirled a lock of her perfect hair. "A little payback. You embarrassed me, so now it's my turn." She held up her phone, smirking. On the screen was a photo of her faint bruise from my slap. "See this? I'm going to make sure everyone knows what you really are." Rage boiled in me. "If you touch me, Chloe, you'll regret it." Her smile widened. "We'll see." She nodded at the blonde guy. He grabbed my wrists, pinning me easily. I struggled, but he was too strong. Fear surged through me as the others closed in, laughing. "Don't worry," Chloe said sweetly, raising her phone camera. "This will only ruin your reputation forever." My chest tightened. Panic clawed at my throat. Then, bang! The door flew open. Ethan stood there, fury blazing in his eyes. "Let her go," he growled. The men laughed. "And who are you supposed to be?" But in the next second, Ethan's fist smashed into the blonde guy's jaw. Chaos exploded. I stumbled back, clutching my wrists, as Ethan fought, swift, brutal, merciless. When it was over, the men lay groaning on the floor. Chloe shrieked in the corner, her phone trembling in her hand. Ethan's knuckles bled. His chest heaved. He turned to me, his voice gentler now. "Are you okay?" Tears blurred my vision. Yeah. Thanks to you." He snatched Chloe's phone and hurled it against the wall, shattering it. "If you ever come near her again," he said darkly, "you'll regret it." Chloe's face drained of color. She didn't argue this time. Hours later, I woke in a hospital bed. My head throbbed, my body aching. Beside me sat Ethan, his right arm in a cast. I blinked. "Your arm." "Broke it," he said casually. "Doesn't matter." "You fought those guys for me." My voice shook. He leaned closer, eyes burning. "Of course I did. You're mine." I stared at him, torn between screaming and crying. "You can't just keep saying that," I whispered. You don't even know if you what? He pressed. If you like me? My breath caught. His face was inches from mine. The truth swelled in my chest, but I couldn't say it. Not yet. So I turned away, murmuring, "You're impossible." His low chuckle followed. "Maybe, but you're still mine." After the hospital incident, nothing felt the same anymore. I tried to convince myself I could go back to normal, tutoring Ben, avoiding Ethan, pretending my heart didn't skip whenever his name flashed on my phone. But deep down, I knew everything had changed, and everyone at school noticed. Whispers trailed behind me in the hallways. "Did you hear? Ethan fought a gang for Clara. He broke his arm protecting her." No way. Ethan Carter? The untouchable Ethan? For her? The stares were endless, curious, envious, judgmental. Chloe? She wasn't finished. She sat in class with her perfect smile, but her eyes burned whenever they landed on me. I knew she was plotting. One afternoon in the library, I was helping Ben with math when Ethan slid into the chair beside me. I blinked. "Don't you have literally anywhere else to be?" "Nope." He opened a book he clearly wasn't reading. Ben snorted. "Miss Moon, he's totally stalking you." "Ben," Ethan warned, but Ben grinned wider. "It's true. He doesn't care about homework. He just wants to sit next to you." My face heated. "Ben, focus." Ethan smirked, enjoying my embarrassment. And the worst part? I couldn't deny it. That night, my phone buzzed. Ethan, online. "Babe, how's my Clara doing?" I stared at the screen, my chest tightening. He still didn't know I'd figured it out. That the boy I'd been messaging late at night was the same one glaring at me in class. I typed slowly. "Me. Why do you call me that?" A pause. Then, "Ethan. Because you're mine." My heart skipped. "Me. What if I don't want to be?" The typing bubbles appeared instantly. "Ethan. Then I'll make you want to." I buried my face in my pillow, groaning. What is wrong with him? But my lips wouldn't stop curving into a smile. That weekend, Mrs. Carter insisted I join them for dinner at a fancy downtown restaurant. "It's Ethan's favorite place," she said warmly. "You'll love it." Not key, I wanted to refuse, but she wouldn't take no for an answer. So, there I was, in my nicest dress, sitting across from Ethan under glittering chandeliers. Ben chattered happily, Mrs. Carter beamed, and I tried not to choke on my water when she said, "You two look wonderful together." "Mom," Ethan muttered, ears red. I waved my hands. "It's not like that." But she only smiled knowingly. "We'll see." After dinner, we stepped into the cool night air. The valet pulled up Ethan's Ferrari. He opened the passenger door for me. "I can take the bus," I protested. "Get in," he said firmly. I sighed, but slid into the seat. For a while we drove in silence, the city lights blurring past. Then he spoke. "Why do you keep resisting?" I turned to him. "Because you're arrogant. You think you can just claim me like property." His jaw tightened. "I'm not asking because I already know." "Know what?" "That you feel it too." My heart stuttered. "You don't know anything." He pulled the car to the curb, engine idling. His eyes locked on mine, intense and unyielding. "Then prove it," he said softly. "Look me in the eye and tell me you feel nothing." My throat went dry. I opened my mouth, but nothing came, because I couldn't. Not when his gaze stripped me bare. Not when my chest ached every time he was near. He leaned closer, voice barely a whisper. That's what I thought. And then his lips brushed mine. Gentler this time, slow and deliberate. When he pulled back, his forehead rested against mine. "You're mine, Clara," he murmured. No more running. The next morning, Maya cornered me at my locker. Spill. Everything. I blinked innocently. What are you talking about? She rolled her eyes. Don't play dumb. The whole school saw Ethan drop you off, in his Ferrari, and he looked happy. Ethan Carter doesn't do happy, Clara. My face flamed. It's not. Oh, it is. She smirked. You're officially the main character of Lincoln High. I groaned, burying my face in my hands. But maybe she was right. Of course, Chloe wasn't done. That afternoon, she cornered me in the girls' restroom. You think you've won, don't you? She spat. Just because Ethan looks at you? You're nothing compared to me. I sighed. Chloe, give it up. He doesn't want you. Her face twisted. I'll ruin you first. The door banged open. Ethan strode in without hesitation. His voice was cold, lethal. This ends now. Chloe gaped. You can't be in here. I don't care. He stepped forward. Stay away from Clara. If you don't, you'll regret it. Her eyes darted nervously, but his glare was too much. She bolted. I stared at him, stunned. Ethan, you didn't have to. Yes, I did. His voice softened. He brushed a strand of hair from my face. Because you're mine to protect. And this time, I didn't argue. After that bathroom scene, there was no going back. By Monday morning, the news had spread across Lincoln High like wildfire. Ethan Carter, the untouchable golden boy, had openly protected me. If there had been whispers before, now there were full-blown rumors. Are they dating? She must have bewitched him. No way Ethan would pick her over Chloe. I kept my head down, pretending not to hear, but inside I was a mess. Because even I didn't know what we were. That evening, during tutoring, Ben plopped his notebook onto the desk. Miss Moon, you should just marry my brother already. Then you'd be here every day and I'd never fail math again. Ben, I gasped. From across the table, Ethan smirked. Smart kid. I glared. Don't encourage him. Ben leaned in, whispering conspiratorially. Don't worry. I'll totally support you if you become my sister-in-law. I covered my face with my hands. You two are impossible. When I peeked, Ethan wasn't smirking anymore. He was watching me, his eyes softer, almost tender. And that made my heart race worse than anything. Later that night, after Ben had gone to bed, Ethan cornered me at the door. Clara. His tone was calm but firm. I turned. What is it now? He stepped closer, his cast brushing against my arm. Stop avoiding the truth. I frowned. What truth? That you like me. Heat shot up my neck. You're insane, I don't... Yes, you do. His eyes locked onto mine. I can see it. You feel it. I faltered. If I admit it, everything changes. Good. His voice dropped lower. I want everything to change. And before I could breathe, he leaned down and pressed a kiss to my forehead. I froze. He whispered, Sweet dreams, Clara. Then walked away. I stood rooted in place, my heart pounding like a drum. The next day at school, Chloe made her move. I was at my locker when she appeared, dragging a teacher along. In her hands was a stack of papers, printouts, screenshots of my online chats. My blood turned to ice. Clara Moon has been secretly chatting with boys online, she declared loudly. Isn't that against school rules? Gasps echoed through the hallway. My mouth went dry. How had she even gotten those? The teacher frowned. Miss Moon, is this true? Before I could answer, a familiar voice rang out, sharp and unyielding. Those chats were with me. The hall fell silent. Ethan stepped forward, his expression unreadable. She was talking to me, he said evenly. Because she's my girlfriend. The crowd erupted. My knees nearly gave out. He had just announced it, publicly, boldly, without hesitation. I was his girlfriend. After school, I stormed into the Carter mansion fuming. "You had no right to say that." Ethan leaned casually against the wall. "Would you rather I let Chloe humiliate you?" "I would have handled it myself. You couldn't even speak," he shot back. "I'm not letting her tear you apart." "You made it worse. Now everyone thinks the truth?" He stepped closer, eyes burning. "That you're mine." I clenched my fists. "You keep saying that like it's already decided." "It is." His tone softened, but his gaze never wavered. "You just don't want to admit it yet." And the worst part? He was right. That weekend, Maya dragged me out for coffee. "You're officially the hottest gossip at Lincoln High," she said, sipping her latte. "Ethan Carter announcing you as his girlfriend? Iconic." I groaned. I didn't even agree to it. "Doesn't matter," she smirked. "You're basically a couple already." "I don't know how I feel," I admitted. "Liar," she said immediately. "Your face says yes." I buried my face in my hands. "Clara, listen," she said more gently. "If he makes you happy, maybe stop fighting it so much." Her words stayed with me long after. That night, my phone buzzed. Ethan, online. "Babe, did you eat dinner?" I hesitated, then typed back. Me. "Why do you keep calling me that?" Ethan. "Because it's true, you're mine." My chest tightened. This time, instead of fighting, I typed, "Me. Good night, Ethan." His reply was instant. "Ethan. Sweet dreams, my baby." And for the first time, I smiled. On Monday, as I walked into school, something felt different. People still stared, still whispered, but this time, I didn't shrink. Because when Ethan fell into step beside me, his fingers brushing mine before lacing together, I didn't pull away. And in that moment, I knew. He wasn't just my online boyfriend anymore. He was real. And he was mine. Walking into school holding Ethan Carter's hand felt surreal. The stares, the whispers, the gasps, they were deafening. But for the first time, I didn't feel small, because his hand was warm, steady, and firm in mine. Like a promise. Of course, not everyone was happy. By third period, Chloe cornered me outside the classroom. "You think you've won, don't you?" she hissed. "You embarrassed me, humiliated me, and now you parade around holding his hand like you own him." I sighed. "Chloe, it's not a competition. He made his choice. Move on." Her eyes blazed. "He's only with you because you tricked him. But don't worry. I'll make sure he sees the truth." She spun on her heel, her hair whipping behind her. I had no idea what she meant then, but I'd find out soon enough. That evening, while I was helping Ben, Ethan hovered nearby, pretending to read, but really just watching me. "You don't have to babysit me," I muttered, scribbling an equation. "I'm not babysitting," he said flatly. "I'm making sure you're safe." "Safe from what? Ben's algebra?" Ben giggled. "She's right, Ethan." But Ethan's eyes were serious. "From Chloe." My pen froze. "She's planning something," he said darkly. "Stay close to me until I figure it out." I frowned. "And if I don't want to?" His gaze pinned me. "Too bad. I'm not giving you a choice. You're impossible." His lips curved faintly. "So I've been told." The next morning, chaos exploded. Students clustered in groups, staring at their phones, whispering. Maya rushed up, pale. "Clara, don't freak out, okay?" "What happened?" She showed me her phone. My world collapsed. A video was playing, grainy but clear. It showed me at the karaoke ambush, Chloe's voice taunting in the background, the blonde guy pinning my wrists, my struggle. But the clip ended before Ethan burst in. The caption read, "Clara Moon, secret party girl exposed." Gasps filled the hallway. She's not as innocent as she looks. No wonder Ethan likes her. Guess she's not so special after all. Tears stung my eyes. "No, this isn't." "Clara, don't listen," Maya whispered, gripping my hand. "It's fake. People will see through it." But already the damage was done. Then suddenly, the video disappeared. Maya blinked. "Wait, what?" Across the hall, Ethan stood with his phone, his expression lethal. "Deleted," he said coldly. "Already traced the source. Chloe's finished." Moments later, Chloe's shrill voice echoed down the hall. "No, give me back my phone." Two teachers escorted her away. Ethan slipped an arm around me, steadying me. "It's over. She won't touch you again." I looked up at him, my vision blurry. "Why do you keep protecting me like this?" His eyes softened. "Because you're mine." And this time, I didn't argue. That night, I couldn't sleep. The whispers, the video, Chloe's face, they circled in my head. My phone buzzed. Ethan, online. "Babe, are you awake?" Me. "Yeah." Ethan. "Don't let today get to you. They don't matter. Only I do." Tears slid down my cheeks. Me. "What if this ruins me?" Ethan. "I won't let it. You're safe with me." And for the first time, I believed him. That weekend, Mrs. Carter invited me on a countryside trip with the family. "It'll be good for you," she said kindly. "Fresh air, peace, no drama." I wanted to refuse, but Ethan's smirk told me I had no choice. So there I was, crammed in the back seat with Ben, Ethan driving us along winding roads. The countryside was breathtaking. Rolling hills, golden fields, a sky so wide it felt endless. At one point, the car broke down. Ben ran off to chase butterflies, leaving me and Ethan leaning against the hood. The air smelled of wildflowers. "Clara," Ethan said suddenly, voice lower than usual. "Yeah?" He looked at me, softer than I'd ever seen. "You drive me crazy. You argue, push me away, make everything harder than it should be." I blinked. Thanks?" He chuckled. "But I wouldn't change a thing, because you're the only one who makes me feel alive." My chest tightened. "And," he added, stepping closer, "the only one I want." Before I could speak, he kissed me again, slower this time, steady, certain, and for the first time, I kissed him back. Later, as the sun dipped low, Ben teased us mercilessly from the back seat. "Miss Moon, you're blushing. I knew it. You like my brother." I hid my face in my hands. Ethan smirked, one hand on the wheel. "She's mine." Ben groaned. "Ugh, you two are gross, but fine. I'll allow it." I laughed, warmth blooming in my chest. And maybe, just maybe, I wanted it to be true. Life at Lincoln High was never quiet after that countryside trip. Rumors spread like wildfire. Some people cheered me on. Some envied me. And others, well, they just couldn't stand the thought of Ethan Carter being with me. But through it all, Ethan never let go of my hand. One morning, as I walked into class, Maya shoved a newspaper into my face. "Clara, look!" On the front page of the school newsletter was a huge photo. Me and Ethan on the Ferris wheel, his lips against mine. I nearly fainted. Who took this?" "Probably one of Chloe's spies," Maya said grimly. "But it's too late. The whole school's seen it now." Whispers erupted around us. "She kissed him for real. They're official." I can't believe it. My face burned, and then, as if on cue, Ethan strolled in, calm as ever. He dropped into the seat beside me, ignoring the stares. They're talking about us, I muttered, sinking lower in my chair. Let them. He leaned closer, his voice low. You are mine. Everyone might as well know it. My heart skipped. You really don't care what they say, do you? Not about them. His gaze softened. Only about you. That afternoon, Chloe made her final move. She stormed into the classroom, eyes blazing, clutching her phone. Ethan, look at this, she demanded. On the screen was a heavily edited video, spliced clips of me with the tattooed men at the karaoke lounge. It made it look like I had gone there willingly. The class gasped. My stomach dropped. This is who you're protecting? Chloe sneered. A girl who sneaks around with men behind your back? The room buzzed with whispers. I couldn't breathe, but Ethan didn't even glance at the video. He reached over, took my trembling hand, and stood. His voice rang clear, sharp, unshakable. I don't care what you show me. Clara Moon is my girlfriend, and I trust her. The room fell silent. Even Chloe froze. You can't mean that. I do. His eyes were steel. So stop wasting your time. Gasps filled the air. Chloe's face twisted with fury. Her pride shattered. She let out a strangled scream and bolted from the room. After class, I grabbed his sleeve. Why did you do that? You didn't even ask me if it was true. Because I don't need to. He turned, his gaze steady. I know you. Tears blurred my eyes. You are insane. Maybe. He brushed a tear from my cheek with his thumb. But you're mine. That's all that matters. And for the first time, I didn't deny it. Weeks passed. The whispers slowly faded. Chloe's power crumbled. And for the first time since forever, I felt free. Free to laugh with Maya at lunch. Free to tutor Ben without fear. Free to sit beside Ethan without worrying about the world. And Ethan? He was still impossible. Bossy, arrogant, frustrating. But he was also the boy who stayed up all night texting me stupid memes. The boy who fought for me when no one else would. The boy who made me feel safe. One evening, as we sat in the Carter garden, the air filled with the scent of roses, he turned to me. Clara, yes? His eyes were serious, more serious than I'd ever seen. You changed everything. I blinked. What do you mean? Before you, I didn't care about anything. Not school, not people, not even myself. He exhaled. But you made me want more. You made me want to fight. For you. For us. My chest tightened. I know I'm not easy, he continued. But I'm asking you. Stay with me. Tears filled my eyes. I laughed softly. Ethan Carter, are you actually being sincere right now? For once, yes. His lips curved faintly. So, what's your answer? I took a shaky breath, then smiled through the tears. Yes. His eyes lit up, and then his lips were on mine, warm and certain, sealing the promise we both knew was real. From that moment on, there was no more running, no more doubt, because I wasn't just his online girlfriend anymore. I was his, for real, forever. If you enjoyed this story, please remember to like and share. See you in the next one.